The ranch is quiet. Too quiet. Season 19 didn't end with answers, it ended with a feeling. A feeling that something important was missing. Fans didn't just finish the season. They sat with it, wondering what Heartland was trying to say without saying it out loud. Season 19 of Heartland didn't end with a big explosion or a dramatic goodbye. Instead, it ended softly. And that softness is exactly what made it so powerful. The final moments felt calm on the surface, but underneath, there was a deep emotional weight. The kind that stays with you long after the episode ends. Throughout the season, we watched the characters move forward with their lives, but not in a loud or rushed way. It felt careful, almost fragile. Amy continued to grow stronger, but there was still a sense that part of her heart was carrying something unfinished. The ranch kept running, the horses kept healing, and life kept moving, but something felt different. The show wasn't trying to distract us from the pain. It allowed us to sit with it. What made the ending so emotional was what wasn't said. There was no clear closure, no moment that told us, this chapter is fully closed. Instead, the final episodes leaned into memory, legacy, and quiet strength. Every scene felt like it was holding space for the past. Especially for Ty. Even when his name wasn't spoken, his presence could still be felt in Amy's choices, in her strength, and in the way she connected with the horses. The Heartland Ranch itself felt like a character in mourning. Familiar, warm, but changed. The wide shots felt slower. The conversations felt more meaningful. It was as if the show wanted us to understand that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning how to live with what you've lost. Fans noticed this immediately. Many expected season 19 to fully move on, but instead, it paused. And that pause raised questions. Why end the season this way? Why leave so much unsaid? Heartland has always been about family, love, and second chances. And when a show with that history chooses silence over closure, it usually means one thing: there is more to the story. By the time the final scene faded out, viewers weren't thinking about what happened next. They were thinking about what might still be possible. And that quiet ending didn't feel like a goodbye. It felt like a breath before something bigger. Ever since Ty left the story, Heartland fans have been split into two groups. One group accepted it as final. The other never truly believed it. And season 19 gave that second group more reasons than ever to keep hoping. Heartland has never been a show that rushes endings. When something truly ends, the show makes it clear. But with Ty, that clarity never fully came. Instead, his absence felt carefully handled, respectful, gentle, almost protective. The writers didn't erase him from the story. They kept him alive in memories, in quiet moments, and in Amy's emotional journey. Throughout season 19, Ty's influence was still everywhere. Amy's strength didn't feel like she had moved on, it felt like she was carrying him forward with her. The way she handled challenges, the way she spoke about love and loss, and even the way she connected with horses felt shaped by what she shared with Ty. This wasn't a character letting go. This was a character honoring something deep. Fans also noticed how often the show returned to the past. Old conversations were mentioned. Familiar lessons were repeated. Even the tone of the season felt reflective, almost like the show was reminding viewers of where everything began. Heartland rarely looks backward without a reason. When it does, it's usually preparing the ground for something meaningful. Another reason fans believe Ty could return is how Heartland treats hope. This show is built on second chances. Injured horses heal. Broken families reconnect. Lost paths are found again. Bringing Ty back, whether in spirit, memory, or even in a surprising new form, fits the heart of the series. Heartland doesn't believe in cold endings. It believes in emotional truth. Then there's the biggest detail fans can't ignore. The door was never fully closed. There was no final goodbye scene that felt complete. No moment that said, "This is the end forever." Instead, the story left space. And in storytelling, space is powerful. Space means possibility. That's why, when season 20 rumors started spreading, fans didn't dismiss them. They leaned in. Because Heartland has taught its audience one thing over the years: when something matters, it always finds a way back. The season 20 trailer arrived quietly, but it didn't take long for fans to realize it was carefully built. Every shot felt chosen for a reason. There was no rush, no heavy dialogue, and no clear explanations. Instead, the trailer leaned on mood, and that mood said more than words ever could. The first thing that stood out was the tone. It felt deeper, more serious, yet full of quiet hope. The music was slow and emotional, not dramatic or tense. That choice matters. Heartland uses music to guide feelings, and this time, it felt like a bridge between the past and the future. Not an ending but a continuation. Several scenes focused on empty spaces, open fields, silent barns, long looks instead of spoken lines. These moments weren't filler. They created a feeling of reflection, almost like the story was asking viewers to remember what once was before showing what comes next. In Heartland, silence often means something important is being held back. Fans also notice how Amy was framed in the trailer. She wasn't shown as someone lost or broken. She stood calm, grounded, and steady, but there was still emotion in her eyes. This suggests growth without closure, strength without forgetting. The trailer didn't show her moving away from her past, it showed her standing with it. Another detail fans can't stop talking about is what the trailer didn't show. There were no clear answers about the future, no big reveals, no firm direction. And that's unusual. Most trailers want to explain. This one wanted to tease. When a show chooses mystery over clarity, it's often protecting a major reveal. The final moments of the trailer felt especially important. The pacing slowed, the music softened, and the focus returned to Heartland itself, the ranch, the land, the place where everything connects. It felt like a reminder, no matter who comes or goes, this is where stories return. For many fans, the trailer didn't confirm anything, but it didn't shut anything down either. And in Heartland, that balance is never accidental. The clues may be quiet, but they are there, waiting to be understood. Every new season of Heartland brings fresh faces, but season 20 feels different. The introduction of new characters doesn't feel random or temporary. It feels planned, purposeful, like the story is preparing for a shift that will touch every corner of the ranch. These new characters are not coming in to replace anyone. They're coming in to challenge what already exists. Heartland has always been built on tradition, family, and long-standing bonds. New people bring new energy, and with that energy comes tension. Not conflict for the sake of drama, but emotional pressure that forces growth. What makes these characters interesting is how they reflect different paths. Some carry ambition, some carry wounds, some arrive searching for something they've lost. And when those paths cross with Amy, Jack, and the rest of the family, change becomes unavoidable. Heartland doesn't break under change, it reshapes itself. Fans are especially curious about how these new faces will affect Amy. She has spent seasons rebuilding her life, finding balance, and learning how to be strong on her own. New characters don't just enter her world, they test it. They may offer support, raise questions, or even reopen feelings she believed were settled. And that emotional tension is where Heartland thrives. The ranch itself has always acted like a meeting point. People arrive there carrying stories, pain, and hope. Season 20 seems ready to lean into that idea again. New characters don't just bring new storylines, they bring new choices. And every choice has consequences. What's most powerful is that these characters represent the future. While the past still matters deeply, Heartland has never stayed frozen in time. It grows, it adapts, and the arrival of new people suggests that season 20 is not just continuing the story, it's expanding it. Change can be uncomfortable. It can feel risky. But in Heartland, change has always been the first step toward healing. And these new characters may be the spark that pushes everything forward. She learned how to survive the loss, but the real question is whether she ever stopped listening to her heart. Amy's journey after Ty has never been about forgetting him. It has been about learning how to breathe again while carrying the weight of love and loss. Season after season, we've watched her grow stronger, not by closing her heart, but by opening it in a new way. And season 20 feels like a turning point in that journey. In season 19, Amy wasn't running from the past. She was standing beside it. Her calm didn't feel empty, it felt earned. She showed patience, confidence, and quiet strength. But beneath that strength was something unresolved. Not pain that controls her, but love that still matters. Heartland made it clear that Ty wasn't just a memory. He was part of who Amy became. What makes Amy's story so powerful is how real it feels. Healing didn't come fast. It didn't come easy. It came in small moments through horses, through family, through the land itself. Amy didn't replace what she lost. She learned how to live with it. And that kind of growth doesn't close doors. It keeps them gently open. Season 20 seems ready to explore what that means. Is Amy truly moving forward? Or is she being guided by something deeper? Her journey now feels less about survival and more about direction. She's no longer lost, but she's still searching. Searching for peace, purpose, and maybe even a sign. Heartland has always shown that love doesn't disappear just because time passes. It changes shape. It grows quieter, but stronger. Amy's connection to Ty shaped her choices, her values, and her strength. And when a bond is that deep, it doesn't simply end, it waits. Whether Ty returns in a real, symbolic, or emotional way, Amy's story is leading somewhere meaningful. Season 20 isn't asking if she's strong enough to move on. It's asking something much deeper. What does moving forward truly look like when love never left? Season 20 doesn't feel like a continuation, it feels like a shift. The kind of shift that only happens when a story has reached a deeper level. Heartland has spent years building its world, its characters, and its emotional roots. Now, it feels ready to ask bigger questions about where it goes next. The future of Heartland may not be about choosing between the past and the present. It may be about learning how both can exist together. Season 20 appears to be balancing legacy with change. The ranch remains the heart of the story, but the people around it are evolving, and that evolution feels intentional, not rushed. Fans sense that Season 20 could be a defining chapter, not because of one big reveal, but because of the emotional direction. The story feels more reflective, more thoughtful. It's less about drama and more about meaning, about why these characters are still here and what they still have to give. There's also a feeling of full circle. Heartland has always been about healing horses, families, and hearts. Season 20 seems ready to revisit that theme in a deeper way. Not just healing from loss, but healing toward hope, toward possibility, toward something new without losing what came before. Whether Ty's story finds a new form or remains part of the past, his impact is undeniable, and that impact continues to shape the future. Heartland isn't trying to erase anything, it's trying to honor it while moving forward. In the end, Season 20 may not give every answer fans are looking for, but it promises something just as powerful: a story that respects its past, embraces its future, and reminds us why Heartland still matters. Because some stories don't end. They grow.